Want to make me co-chair so I can share my screen to do?
I just started the recording. So, okay. Welcome everyone. Today is February 4th. This is SIG Instrumentation, and we have got two topics on the agenda for today. Both are from Elena, so I think you just asked me about making you co-host, so let me do that.
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
There you go. I think you should be able to now.
Can you see the notes?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, let's open this guy up. So this is what I am tracking currently for the SIG for KEPs we want to do in this release. So let me just make sure that everybody has the link. I'll put it in the chat if I can figure out how to do that. Here we go. So this is kind of where we're at. The KEP process has changed a little bit in 121. So I just wanted to go over it, make sure everyone knows what's going on, and like figure out which KEPs are going into the next release. So what's going on here? KEPs are anything that are like net new to Cube or like changes that need to be discussed with other SIGs or things like that. So they're not like bug fixes, they're not like website typo updates. It's specifically for features. And for features, we need some way to track them project-wide. So this is how we do it. And we have a new process in 121 where basically previously the release team just goes and tracks everything for us. And all we have to kind of do is like once things get the milestone put on them, we kind of watch them for the duration of the release. So this is kind of the list based on this KEP issue list of everything that we currently have on our backlog. And so I've been going through this basically saying, okay, we've got 9 of these. What are we doing for each of them? So the first one on the list was metric cardinality enforcement. I talked to the owners of this one, and the answer is we're not doing anything in 121. We're letting it lay in alpha. And our next steps are to determine when this moves to beta. So I can't see Han, but I'm assuming that Han's giving a thumbs up. Yeah, he's nodding his head.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, so no work to be done on this one. So we're not doing anything in 121, so it's not going to get tracked. This one, defend against logging secrets against via static analysis. So I think both of these two are moving to SIG security. This one is targeting beta in 121. I think the PRs may already even be up for it. And there's a PR, I guess there's a PR for this moving to SIG security, and then it becomes their problem. So we have to like give it a thumbs up, I guess, but I am fine with that. So this one has been updated to no since I last looked at it. So I guess for the components log sanitization, we are not planning on graduating that one to beta this release. I know we also have to move this one to SIG security.
So so this is kind of a weird. So the fourth column is kind of weird, mostly because like it's not like a binary between stage, right? Like so metric cardinality enforcement, yes, it's going to be an alpha, but we need to do like alpha implementation work, right? So it's not like no. In 121.
So we already, as far as I'm aware, we have graduated this to alpha in the previous release. Like it's there, it's been implemented. We hit all of the alpha goals. So the next stage of the KEP's life cycle would be graduating to beta according to the criteria that were laid out here.
Oh no, I'm actually talking about the other one.
Oh, the other one? This one?
No, the first one.
The first one.
Yes, that one needs to be implemented.
Oh, I thought it already was implemented.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. So it's basically, yeah. So that's why the no confuses me.
Well, so I was under the impression that this already went to alpha in the last release, and that as a result, we were not doing anything with this release because you said we wanted to make it let it bake.
No, we provisionally accepted this KEP.
Provisional?
You can, yeah, I think it's
I'm looking it up.
Or I think it's provisional.
Well, what number is this?
Yeah.
I think I fixed it in the migration. So 2305.
Yeah, you Chen, she's a Googler, will be working on this quarter. So it's
This is implementable.
Yeah, but that implementable means it's implementable, not implemented.
Did we not?
It's not
do
implemented.
Anything on this in the last release?
No, it's not. It got kicked down the development got kicked down the road.
This is not alpha. It's net new.
Yeah, it's net new.
And you want to do alpha in 121?
Yes, that's the goal, or whatever we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we need to do all of these things. I don't think there's anything else that we need to do. Okay.
Oh yeah, that'll be easy. You can assign the PR review to me. That's easy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, both of
everybody,
us are doing PRs.
This is literally a reliability feature. So it's like.
Okay. I've done that now. So that no longer needs to be done. But we do need to get all of that stuff updated. And as soon as we target actual alpha to this release, I think it'll trigger a PRR review.
Sounds good.
So hopefully that'll be ceremonial, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so Han, you're good on this one?
Yes.
Okay. Is purely applied on the call? I don't think so. I already spoke with him. So this one, we're moving it to SIG security. It's basically all ready to go to beta. And like right now, we're just waiting on the SIG security chairs to accept it. There's a PR up. They just need to approve it. And I don't think they're looking because this would be their first cap. And then similarly, this is the other security cap that we need to move to SIG security. So I don't think Pavel's on the call, but Merrick, can you confirm this is going to move to SIG security? We're not doing any, it has graduated to alpha. We're not doing anything in this release.
So from me and Pavel work, I don't think we will be working for 121. If that's moved to SIG security, I don't know if they will. I haven't talked with purely applied.
There might be other people who will pick up the work or the implementation there, but I mean, it's too late, I think, especially if we're just moving it to another SIG, target anything for this release anyways. So
yeah.
Okay, so I just want to check. That one's out,
awesome.
But we need to move that to SIG security, so we don't need to set a milestone. Cool. Then I guess moving on, and nothing else on that one, right? No. Okay. Moving on to Clayton's kept about scheduler metrics that are not necessarily scheduler specific. He wants to target beta this release. He has a PR up for this, and I think that this one is moving fine.
I think that there was one. Sorry, one.
Go ahead.
There was one kind of question. I haven't been able to follow up on this one with Clayton, but maybe someone knows. So one thing that I was wondering about, especially for cloud providers like GKE or AKS, or pick whichever one you want, I assume that people do not have access to the scheduler metrics, right? How do we envision this kind of thing working with cloud providers?
I can comment on this for cloud. From GKE point of view, we're having this effort to exposing all API server, scheduler, and controller managers metrics to customers. So at least for GKE, someday in the future, maybe not long future, customer can see the metrics from scheduler.
That's really awesome. For me, I am a GKE user, so for me this solves this. But I think in particular with this feature, we may want to go to the cloud provider SIGs and let people know that this is a feature that people can only make use of if it's exposed in the same way as GKE intends to do it. I feel like we may be causing fragmentation otherwise with like dashboard collections, rule collections, etc.
So, Frederick, why is this special compared to any other control plane metric that we emit?
It's special because it's about workloads that traditionally always were entirely exposed by kube state metrics. And it makes perfect sense that they are in the scheduler. They must be in the scheduler because of their nature. But like there's the Kubernetes mixin, for example, that's like the most widely used.
So I would say, just to put this discussion on pause, not that this is not good. I think this is good, but I think that has to happen in the context of that cap. There is a PR up right now to update it for beta. I would put that there because we don't have Clayton on the call, and I want to make sure we don't get in the situation of last meeting where we don't discuss all the caps because we've got a few more to go. So does that sound good?
That sounds good. That definitely sounds good. Yeah. Great.
I'm going to skip this one just because it's net new for a second, because I think we can get through the rest of them faster, and then we can spend more time on this one. So I'm going to come back to this one. Structured logging. What's going on with that, Merrick? It's causing a lot of review burden for people. Like I've seen in SIG Node, we're getting lots and lots of drive-by PRs for this. So I would really like to figure out a strategy for like when we want to get the migration done. Beta doesn't look extraordinarily difficult, but I'm worried about, like, I don't really want to split this between releases.
So like, I think I don't know, the goal of beta, if you look at it, was just to start build tools for the migration to be ensuring that migration moving forward and keeping up with the speed. But it would not help us going to beta. Would not help us to reduce like the toil to related to reviewing the changes. It would, I would say, even like technically increase it. But before like even speeding up, it's good that I think we are still polishing the API. Like I would say, what I mean polishing API. There's discussion that you had about like the replacing fatal as it's no longer suggested, and there also was some work on adding depth. So I'm not sure, like, would beta help, moving to beta help?
Yeah, I mean, maybe what we need to do is, it's not so much necessarily, like I agree, this is a really big effort. And I think that, you know, it may not be feasible to do it all in one release to go to beta. And I think that's fine. What I want to see is like some sort of plan for like, okay, we know all of these components exist in Cube. They all need to be migrated. Let's focus on, we'll use these ones as the beta testers, and we're not accepting any other structured logging PRs. So like 121, we break all the kubelet logs, but we don't break all the scheduler logs or something like that. And that way, you know, it's like the review burden is like, you know, isolated to one component. We have a list of like, we have to do this for this release. We're not planning on graduating it, but we're continuing work. And like, just I think that's what we should do with this one. We shouldn't graduate to beta. I agree with you. I think that it's going to make it harder, and we're not going to possibly get it all migrated. But I'd love to see, for example, us say, we're going to do kubelet to structured logging in 121, and we need to like iron out these kinks. And then like the next release, we will say, okay, we're going to do all the static analysis stuff. We're going to migrate all the rest of the components. And then that'll be our beta release. So it'll be like a 2-release process.
Yeah. So I was thinking that moving like whole components, or rather directories, like tackling full directories, like, okay, let's tackle everything under package scheduler, should require the static analysis piece, because you just want to say, okay, here are subdirectories, let's move them one by one and mark them as ready.
So is there any chance that we can get the static analysis stuff this release?
I was hoping that there was, I don't know, to catch one of the person that are interested, if there's any interest in implementing the static piece, but I didn't get any response. So currently, I don't.
So we don't currently have anybody.
It's not super large amount of work.
Yeah, like that's my worry.
Like,
it's like the work is
around
clearly
like 3
happening
weeks.
to do the migration. So I don't want to be like, oh, well, it's out, but we get all these drive-by PRs anyways, and then people get discouraged because we don't want to merge them, and then we hold it off. And how do you feel about saying this is in? We don't necessarily plan on graduating it to beta. I mean, I guess what we can say is we can put it in as like, we want to go to beta. We think it's at risk. Do as much work as we can, and like are fine with it slipping to the next release.
Okay, that was the same thing that for 120.
Yeah,
say,
well,
yeah,
I
yes,
mean,
So
did we get any work done in 120? I feel like we did.
So I know that Jordan is kind of trying to ratchet down on keps that linger in alpha for super long time. So yeah, we should have like a stop goal or something. Like we should have like a PM type session where we plan what the target goals are.
So we could potentially pull Lori in to do that. We might even be able to do that before Kep freeze. But I guess there's a bit of a time zone challenge with, I think, everybody that we need to get involved, and there's not a lot of days left. Like, I'm not working tomorrow, so I wouldn't be able to make a meeting tomorrow. Do you want me to try to make that happen? Like, will people be available such that if I schedule a meeting in the morning, either Monday or Tuesday next week, so we can try to figure out how to do this and see if we want it in or not, like, will people be able to make that? It'll be late for Europe.
Let's see. In the
early next week would not work for me.
That's okay. I don't think we need all of the leads. I think we just need some of the leads. So Frederick's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no,
I can generally do it. I can generally do it between 8 and 9, except on Tuesday.
Okay. Merrick, would you be able to make that if I schedule something with like a PME person?
Sure, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so for this one, I'll put an action on here for me to schedule something to follow up. Okay, good. So I think I will put this one back to a question mark, and that's on me to try to deal with the scheduling. So thanks everyone. I think I just want to make this like not super painful for anyone involved, especially not for the project. The number of structured logging PRs I'm getting as a node reviewer right now is like unbelievable. So
thank you for coordinating all this.
I don't know.
Like seriously, Elena, thank you for just coordinating all of this stuff.
I am happy to do it. I know it's painful. I'm sorry. Okay, so 4 more caps. This one's really easy. Also, I'll maybe jump to the one at the bottom. So I talked to Wojtek and also I think it's Chelsea Chen, who own this one. So this one was graduated last release. We shunted it back to beta because there's still a bunch of stuff that hasn't actually graduated yet. Like we need to finish the migration. It's not happening this release though, maybe next release. So that one's good. We know what we're doing there. David, do you want to talk about API server tracing?
Sure. I just opened the PR to update the metadata. It already had PR review, like at the very beginning of when we were doing PR reviews. So
great.
I'm not sure if we're going to do it again or if we just
probably won't do it again. Okay. You probably just need a rubber stamp.
Yeah. So waiting for the rubber stamp. Also, we OpenTelemetry recently got an IANA reserved port. So I have another PR that switches it to use its reserved port.
That sounds great to me. Okay, so I think we're in good shape there. Metric stability. Han, how do you feel about this? We're good? Graduating? You're confident? You know what to do?
Yeah. Basically, yes, I tested the thing like I said I was going to do. I've been rewiring the thing to hack, but I ran into basically the same issue that Merrick ran into, which is like this verify timeout. But if some of the stuff is like, I'm not sure if I want to use Bazel for some of this stuff. So I was talking to Merrick about it, but yeah, it should be fine. Worst comes to worst,
Okay.
I will just, yeah, it will be done.
Yeah, if it slips, it slips. That sounds good to me. I think, and you know everything you need to do there. I want to spend the rest of the time, especially because we have folks from Fujitsu on the call, to talk about this cap. I just wanted to say there's only one other thing on our agenda, and it was me trying to put something on here about org files cleanup and owners files cleanup. We can punt that. So let's talk about this one. So at least the last time that I looked at this, I don't know that this cap is ready, like in terms of alpha. We definitely need a PRR reviewer. Does anybody who has worked on this cap want to jump in and talk about it? Is there anything that you have like questions for the SIG?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello. Yes. We have one question. I'm new to the enhancement. Yes, I don't know the exact process of how enhancement to move on is actually. So I want to know is any possible this KB to be approved in 1.21? Yes.
Yeah, so why don't I very briefly, I'll talk about what the process looks like. So this is a net new thing, so new feature for Kubernetes. And so stage one is, which you have done, you open an issue in the enhancements repo, and then you open a PR. And
Yes.
basically, in order to start work on that, it needs to be approved, like targeted at a release and in an implementable state. So, and basically when I said this comment here, you know, it says it's provisional.
Yes.
If it's not implementable, we can't work on it in a given release. So if we're fine with just, you know, merging this and saying we'll come back to it, it's okay to leave it in provisional. But if we want to work on it, it has to be implementable. So we are the approvers. By we, I mean me, Han, David, and Frederick, the leads of the SIG. And then there's also one other set of approvers, the PRR or the prod readiness reviewers. And so they also need to take a look at this. So
it's not just going to be PRR, right? Because like we can't do any of these things without actually touching API machinery stuff. And so we are going to have to get sign off from them. Like,
yes,
they will have to agree to this.
Yeah, and I don't think any of them have taken a look at this cap yet. So I would say, I mean, I hate being kind of, I don't want to sound negative, but I think that given we only have like Friday, Monday, Tuesday working days left, it's very unlikely we will get this approved for this release.
It is not likely to get API machinery sign off this release, but we can merge this as provisional, but we can have like a to-do item to get to go through API machinery SIG. And
yeah, Han, would you be comfortable with like, I don't usually go to the API machinery meetings. Would you want to present it there and like solicit feedback because you usually go to those?
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky.
I mean, I can show up and be like, my SIG has this great cap and we need some feedback on it and save you from, you know, stating any opinions on it, because I normally don't talk to those folks.
Well, first off, this is not actually a new cap. A lot of these ideas were part of the first dashboard tracing cap. It's the object tracing part. So it actually has been brought up to API machinery, and they have existing concerns.
Yeah, so then I guess we need to get those addressed.
Yes.
David, how do you feel about being the steward of this?
I think that would probably be appropriate. I think probably as a next step, we should, Han, try and write down what their concerns are, at least, so that we know why it shouldn't move forward. And then maybe we can think through how to address those concerns as a group.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. So for the KEP authors who are on the call, is everything clear there?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Thanks for your expression. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we're super happy to help. We're sorry. I know that this has been kind of going back and forth for a release or two, and we don't want you to have a bad experience with that. This is a big feature that needs a lot of sign off. So we're just trying to do our best to give you the best chance of getting the right thing implemented and everybody be happy with it. So,
Han, when is the next API machinery SIG meeting?
We should probably skip that one because that one's it's probably the KEP deadline.
Okay. Yeah, they'll be busy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah, we can talk about it offline.
Okay.
We can pursue some out of band channels too.
Okay.
I see.
We've got about a minute left.
Yes.
Do we have some closing words? Go ahead.
I have no closing words. I think we've covered everything here. So thank you, everyone. You're awesome.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Thanks, Elena, for all the organization.
Yes,
really
thank you so much.
Thank you, Elena.
You're very welcome. I will stop sharing my screen now. Yeah, we're at time. So thanks so much for participating in the wonderful, miraculous KEP review. We're done. We know what we're doing other than the one lingering thing, like 3 full business days before the deadline. I'm so proud.
I don't think this has ever happened.
SIG Instrumentation, best SIG.
Regardless.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining today. I know probably folks have to drop because we're at time, but it was wonderful seeing everybody's faces.
Have a wonderful local time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.